What if your dog has been silently waiting for one specific change from you, and without realizing it, you've been doing the exact opposite every single day? Most people are convinced they're good owners. They feed, walk, and show affection. On the surface, everything seems right, but beneath that routine, there are subtle needs your dog depends on, needs rarely discussed and often misunderstood. And ignoring them slowly reshapes the relationship you think you have. Stay with this, because by the end, your perception of your dog will shift in a way that's hard to undo. Welcome to Mr. Pet Mind, where we break down what your dog is actually experiencing, not what it looks like from the outside. And today's topic is one of the most overlooked foundations of real connection. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The things that matter most to your dog aren't complicated, expensive, or time-consuming, but getting them wrong repeatedly creates a slow erosion of trust. Dogs don't express disappointment the way humans do. They don't argue or confront. Instead, the change is subtle, less eye contact, reduced enthusiasm, a tail that doesn't move quite the same way. Over time, emotional distance replaces engagement, and by the time most owners notice, the pattern has already been there for years. When your dog hides, under a bed, behind furniture, or in a corner during noise or chaos, your instinct might be to pull them out. It feels like helping. In reality, it does the opposite. Dogs are biologically wired to seek enclosed, secure environments. Their ancestors depended on dens for survival, not comfort. That instinct hasn't disappeared. It's still active in moments of stress. Scientific findings from applied animal behavior science show that dogs with consistent enclosed resting areas have significantly lower cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone. This isn't preference, it's physiology. If your home doesn't offer your dog a space that is truly theirs, untouched, uninterrupted, predictable, then every stressful situation becomes something they must endure alone. A simple setup is enough. A crate with an open door, a quiet corner bed, a blanket in a low sheltered spot. When that space exists consistently, something changes. Your dog stops retreating out of necessity and starts engaging out of choice, because safety always comes before connection. Now, something that feels counterintuitive. Every time you touch your dog without invitation, even gently, you might be weakening trust. It sounds extreme, but consider how often this happens. You walk past your dog and pet them. You sit down and reach for them. They're resting and you still touch them. From your perspective, it's affection. From theirs, it's control. Behavioral research highlights that dogs value autonomy far more than most owners assume. Repeated, unsolicited contact can contribute to what's known as learned helplessness, a state where the dog stops signaling preferences because those signals are ignored. A study from the University of Bristol found that dogs given control over interactions displayed lower anxiety indicators, fewer displacement behaviors, stronger attachment bonds. The shift is simple but difficult. Wait. Look for clear invitations, a head resting on you, a nose pushing your hand, a body leaning in. Those are intentional choices from your dog. When you stop initiating constantly and allow them to come to you, their behavior changes. They approach more often, not because they're trained, but because they feel respected. Your physical presence matters more than you think. From your dog's perspective, you are large, fast-moving, and in control of everything: food, access, movement, attention. That creates an inherent imbalance. Research in canine cognition shows that dogs interpret posture and height as signals related to dominance and threat assessment. Now, consider this. What happens when you remove that imbalance? When you sit or lie on the floor without calling them, without reaching, without expectation, you change the entire dynamic. Studies showed dogs approach seated or crouched humans significantly faster and with more relaxed body language compared to standing ones. Why? Because your posture communicates safety in a way words never can. Try this. Sit quietly a few feet away from your dog. Do nothing. What you'll often see: slower breathing, softer eye contact, gradual approach. Especially for shy or rescue dogs, this single habit can outperform months of structured training because trust isn't taught, it's felt. Most owners unintentionally interrupt one of the most important processes in a dog's life: sniffing. Every time you pull the leash away from a scent, you're cutting off information processing midstream. A dog's nose contains around 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have roughly 6 million. Additionally, the scent processing region of their brain is about 40 times more developed than ours. When your dog stops to sniff, they're not wasting time. They're analyzing who passed by, emotional states of other animals, environmental changes. It's equivalent to reading a constantly updating news feed. Research shows that dogs allowed extended sniffing during walks exhibit lower stress levels afterward compared to dogs who were rushed. This means sniffing isn't optional, it's regulatory. Solution? Slow the pace, allow exploration, and let your dog lead at times. 3 minutes at one spot may seem excessive to you. To your dog, it's completing an unfinished narrative. Dogs don't track time like humans. They don't think in hours or schedules. They think in patterns: feeding, walk, rest, interaction. These sequences form a mental map of safety. When that map is consistent, your dog relaxes. When it's unpredictable, stress increases, even if nothing bad is happening. A study from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior identified inconsistent daily routines as a major contributor to chronic anxiety in dogs, sometimes more impactful than lack of socialization. Common disruptions include irregular feeding times, inconsistent walks, unpredictable owner schedules. To you, it's normal life variability. To your dog, it's instability. You don't need rigidity. You need reliability in key moments. Even small consistencies, like sitting in the same place each evening, create psychological anchors your dog can depend on. And when predictability exists, the nervous system settles. A settled dog is capable of deeper connection. One of the most underestimated tools you have is your voice. Not commands, not corrections, actual conversation. Dogs have co-evolved with humans for tens of thousands of years. During that time, they developed a unique ability: interpreting human vocal signals. Studies in animal cognition show that dogs process both the meaning of words and the emotional tone behind them. Another study from Hungary demonstrated that dogs respond differently when speech is directed specifically at them, even if the words are identical. They know when you're talking to them. This means your voice isn't background noise, it's a primary channel of connection. Talk to your dog when you wake up, during daily routines, on walks, after long days. You don't need structure or perfect wording. What matters is inclusion. Because when your dog hears your voice directed at them, it reinforces something fundamental. They are part of your world, not just managed within it. Most people wait for their dog to become more affectionate, calmer, or more connected. But connection isn't something that appears on its own. It's built through small, consistent behaviors. Respecting space, allowing choice, reducing pressure, creating predictability, and communicating clearly. Your dog isn't expecting perfection. They're responding to patterns, and the version of you they need isn't more effort, it's more awareness. If this changed how you see your dog, share it with someone who hasn't realized this yet. And if you want to go deeper into how your dog actually experiences the world, stay with Mr. Pet Mind.